Hi guys, welcome back to another reaction video and thoughts here on Our Eyes Your Eyes. I'm ready to watch the second to last episode of this amazing Vinland Saga Season 2. But before starting this video, I just want to remind you, as always, to keep subscribing to the channel, click on the notification bell, leave a like to support me, and feel free to join me in this adventure till the end, because next week there will be the final episode and many other adventures coming on the channel, so stay tuned and keep on watching me. Okay, in the previous episode we saw this amazing dialogue between Knuto and Thorfinn, and it's still going ahead because now Knuto is asking Thorfinn a specific question. What are you going to do now, Thorfinn? Are you going to kill me? And let's see what's going to happen. Can't wait. Are you ready to join me with these? Check it out. No. But he is also Viking, so he was. Ooh. Because he can't be fake to him. Thorfinn knows him pretty well. No, Knuto, wake up. He's awakening him. No. Listen to him. No. I will. No, he will not do that. I will. That means he will not fight back. That's the perfect answer for you. You're surprised, huh? Hmm. It's a bad thing, Thorfinn. Yes, if you don't understand, it was just a waste. But I don't think it was a waste. Mm. Knutto! It's pointless. Mm-mm. No. Yeah, that's the most important thing. But you still don't realize that. Yeah, in fact. That makes you understand it's something new. It's something great instead. Oh yeah. Exactly. Oh yes, he is. He is. I like that you admit this. Vinland. Exactly, because if you know, then you will come. No, it's better if you don't find the Thorfinn. Yes, because you can't match with him. Yes, yes. It's a place you will never be able to find. Mm. It's called hope. Yes. You're still very welcome though. Mm. In a different way. Oh yes, he will. No, not Thorfinn, it's the contrary, trust me. Right. Yeah. He learned. Wow, they talked for hours. See? You didn't expect this. Hey, hey. Torgil, wake up, please. Because you're too stubborn to think something else. Mm. No, I think yes, exactly. Ooh, good, good. Your eyes are different now. Yes. Yes. And you're still in time to try the same. Oh, good. Good job. You were awakened, Knuto. Mm. See? You don't need that. Yes! Yes! You gained the trust in a different way. You see the world in a different way. Yes! I'm happy for you. Good job at Thorfinn. What a man! What a man! I think Thors would be amazingly proud of a Thorfinn now. Wow, this is incredible. Ah. Please join Thorfinn. Join him. Yes. 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 Yes, let's go. Let's go together. Yeah, you needed to do it also for her. I think she would have been happy to join you. Like, you said the right thing. Yes, yes, so they can change their mind. Yes. Wow, but this is great. I mean, this legacy is everything. This is like a manifesto to the world. Yes, let's not accept it. Yes, let's work on it, let's create it. If we don't accept it, let's do it. Yes. Oh, yes. Yes! Yes, yes, that's what I wanted. Yes! Why history didn't go like that? Yes! Why history didn't become like this? Why? Ah. Yes, also for Arnheid. Let's do it for her too. She would have liked to join you. Oh, but I'm so happy. Oh, Sverker is still alive. I'm happy for him too. I thought that the snake would have joined them. You should join. Mm. Mm. Good job, you did the right thing. A Patero is still alive. Yes. Yes. But strong in your heart. Yes. Good job, Olmar. Yes. You are also great. Definitely. Yes. It doesn't matter time. Yeah, Knut will not attack them, so... No, no. On the contrary, thank you. No, he doesn't need that. Snake, you should have gone. What? Okay, let's remember. Maybe in the future. That was so nice for Snake to say his real name. It means he was trusting them. Wow, this story is everything. Ketil. Look what you have done to Arnheid. Carve it. Let's rebuild it from zero. Yes. Now it's meaningful. Yes. What was said at the beginning of the season. Yeah. Yeah, Torgil went away. I mean. Yes. Until you find something else. Look at Orphan. Yes, well, look at Orphan, how much you changed the people around you, as much as they changed you. Yes. This episode was everything. This episode... it's really hard for me now to comment. Because I have lots of things to say, but this episode describes, perfectly describes the key for everything. The key to solve all the tragedy, all the wars, all the problems. It's so emotional. It's so inspiring. Sometimes I ask myself, Why is it so difficult to understand? Because as you could see, it's not difficult at all. It seems that it's so, but it's not difficult to understand. And actually, even if it's not difficult, we make it feel difficult. Because it's not difficult. I wanted to start from the beginning of the episode, because I think that brought all the rest of the episode. All that was said in the first part is taking us to the end of the episode. First of all, I wanted to say that for Thorfinn, this experience made him understand that it was worth living at the end of the day. That what he created into other people, thoughts, ideas, hope, inspiration, everything was worth it. The difference that I can see in this character makes me feel so glad. The evolution of this character is promising us that everyone can do this. That even the cruelest person in the world can change, can become better. That everyone can hope to see inside himself or herself the good side, the good part. What Thorfinn made throughout this season was brilliant, was simply inspiring, marvelous, something that I've always wanted to see in the world. When they talk about the superheroes, let me tell you, they are nothing to me compared to what I saw today. Thorfinn can be a real hero, because Thorfinn doesn't need popularity, Thorfinn doesn't need wealth, Thorfinn doesn't even accept when they thank him and when they say, oh, it's thanks to you that I could make my choices, or it's thanks to you that I can understand what a good man is. Yes, I call him a hero even if he's just a man. But this man perfectly describes the power that human beings can cultivate, that it's a different kind of power. Yeah, I think that I will need some tissues in order to make this commentary, because that was everything. And it's the first time that it's hard for me to collect thoughts all together and try to make a logical consequence of thoughts. Because when they will ask me, what is the key to make the world feel better, to create something in which we feel represented? I will definitely say, please go and check episode 23. Please go and check episode 23 of Vinland Saga season 2, because you will find the answer over there. To all the people that lately are being killed, and through all the wars throughout the world, to all the innocent lives that we have lost in these latest months and years. This is the key. And this gives me hope that one day a man like Thorfinn can come and give us this alternative and give us this key, this first method to solve everything here. I mean, if Makoto Yukimura could create a man like Thorfinn, and Makoto Yukimura is a human being, why this man is not here right now with us to lead us to Vinland? Be patient with me today because I need a time to process what I saw. And even if to other people this seems to be the usual episode, not to me, sincerely. Especially because, okay, when you will watch this video, many months will go on, and probably you will watch this video after 6 months after I recorded it. But right now we know the war between Israel and Palestine. We know the war between Russia and Ukraine, and I don't know, that's why I'm saying, I tell you in advance that this is pre-recorded, so I don't know what's going to happen after 6 months from now, but there are so many innocent people that are losing their lives, and they don't deserve to lose their lives. At the beginning of this episode, we saw the most peaceful dialogue between a king and a slave that I've ever seen in my life. That was just like a dream to me to see a dialogue like that, because we know that this was not possible, but it's inspiring, because I would like in the future to see something like this between wealthy and super powerful people and a common person. A person you don't even know his name, her name, confronting these super wealthy, powerful, rich presidents or people ruling the world and have this talk. Thorfinn made Knut laugh after so many years. Knut could find an ally, a fellow. And I was expecting this from Thorfinn. I expected that Thorfinn would have made this to Knut, would have awakened Knut in this way, in the most peaceful way. And when I saw that it happened, look, after focusing on that dialogue, all my emotions came out in this huge cry. I was crying a river. Yeah. The result is that these words, yeah, you pay attention on these words, but then if you are sensitive enough, you have to be affected by what you saw in this episode. You can't refrain from seeing the beauty, the light, the hope, the essential words that we need to cooperate and to create something that will definitely change the world. At the beginning of the episode, I really liked these contrast between colors. I wanted to praise Mappa one more time because we need some visual things to let this message be conveyed properly. I think that's the greatness of anime. That doesn't mean, of course, that the manga is not epic as well, but I think thanks to animation, you can definitely feel what this means and how the message is even more powerful thanks to these additions that we need in order to feel more. I definitely believe that without these small details that are pretty meaningful instead, we don't catch the message at the same time as much as when we are watching these. So I wanted to praise Makoto Yukimura for the dialogue for sure, but I wanted to praise Mappa for the choice of colors and for the scenes that were definitely being portrayed in the best way. We see Knuto surrounded by darkness and Thorfinn, this small flame of light intruding inside his thoughts, inside his ideas, inside his beliefs, and try to let Knuto's mind shine, try to let Knuto's mind be clean again and be pure, be enlightened. After so many years of darkness, someone is using a method with Knuto that Knuto himself didn't know, something that surprised him, something that could definitely left him speechless, and he even laughed at Thorfinn. What was good was these contrast of colors, but also the facial expressions that they both had. And they both represent two sides of the same coin at the end of the day. And I liked that Makoto Yukimura chose these two characters to see both sides, to see how many things they have in common and to see how many things they differ, but these differences can be put all together and create something amazing. These connection that will go ahead through time, even if they will not meet, and probably they will not meet anymore. But the way in which this contrast was created at the beginning, these contrast can automatically create a bond between the two, that was everything. I was waiting for this moment for such a long time throughout this second season, and the fact that it arrived at that moment made me feel so satisfied. Made me feel as if everything that I wanted to see happened. And wow, it's one of the first times together with Shingeki no Kyojin in which I can definitely feel that the author understands my will, that the author understands my thoughts, and is just trying to put everything into words and into scenes so I can watch it and relate myself to it. That's something crazy. I like when I can feel empathy towards something that I watch and towards a piece of art created by someone else, because I definitely consider Yukimura an artist. And I definitely feel proud of everything that he has created so far. This story goes beyond the Vikings. This story goes beyond legions of soldiers fighting versus the victims. This goes beyond everything. And I still don't understand. Let me tell you honestly, this time I have to be definitely honest with you. I don't understand why in 2024 a story like Jujutsu Kaisen is more praised than this. Sorry to tell you this, but I can't understand. Vinland Saga has everything you need to make a journey, to don't step away from reality, to keep yourself here, to discover reality as it is, and the beauty to find a way. I don't understand, so sorry for that. Maybe it's my limit, but how can you praise a story like that when you have a masterpiece like this? And look, I want to bet against everybody else if this is a masterpiece or not. To me, it is. And I think that for so many other people, write me in the comments below, down here below, if you really believe that this story moved you inside your heart, moved something inside your soul, and gave you this hope. Because now we are hopeless. We feel hopeless. We feel powerless. And we need stories like this to tell us you can still have hope. You can still have hope. Wow, I have so many things to say, guys. This is just the beginning. But yeah, so many things to say. I think this would be my longest commentary. Yeah, I think it will take some hours probably for me to handle all these. Stay tuned and keep on watching because I'm starting right now. So yeah, these contrast of colors that we see, and the fact that the more Knut is absorbed by the temptation made by his father to listen to his voice and to say, kill him, kill him, kill him. And to say, how is it possible that you follow a sheep instead of being yourself, being the shepherd? Yeah, that's the problem. That the shepherds, if we have to keep going on with this metaphor, the shepherds don't even listen to the sheep. Don't even understand when the sheep are feeling pain. Don't understand how to communicate with the sheep because they belong to a different world. And that was the perfect metaphor have been used, because the shepherd is the commander, the owner, and the sheep are the victims, are the ones who have to follow the order of the owner and the inferior ones, while the shepherd is owner, he's superior than them. This time the sheep are not used as poor animals, first of all, because they are always used for metaphors like these, and to make people feel ridiculous. Most of the times. Yeah, usually the sheep are used to say, oh, you are a part of all the sheep, so that they believe all the same things and they don't think freely with their minds, right? Usually we use this kind of metaphor, but in this episode, the sheep are used to express the fact that they are inferior than the owner, and they have to shut up and obey, right? So I like the different way in which this metaphor, I mean, the use of this animal was used, and I really liked that even when Sweyn, based on his legacy, is telling Knut, look, you are the shepherd. You shouldn't listen to the sheep. The sheep is inferior than you, and you should handle these things. You're not even a king right now, not yet, because of course he's referring to his idea of what a king is, and Knut is not reaching it yet. I mean, there is that 1% left that matters, as I told you in previous episodes. Then you see this light, how Thorfinn is represented as, yes, a little flame that little by little is intruding inside these thoughts, and he's trying to challenge Sweyn himself by letting him go away and let Knut be himself. I mean, let Knut think with his mind. That was so amazing to watch, because little by little Thorfinn's presence is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger and shinier and shinier. So this light is extending. The perfect answer that Thorfinn gave to Knut says everything. He doesn't say, oh, I'm going to fight against you because I don't want this land to be contaminated by you, or I will defend myself by punching you too, etc., etc. No, actually, Thorfinn is saying something great. He's saying, I will run away. That doesn't mean that he is coward, not at all, but he wants to run away because he doesn't feel that he can belong to this way of seeing the world. So he prefers to run away because he doesn't match with Knut. And he's not afraid of Knut, but he wants to run away because he prefers to find another area of the world in which he can definitely build the world that he imagines, the world that he believes. As a paradox, Thorfinn is creating a damage on Knut the moment in which he's saying that the more he keeps doing something like this, the more Thorfinn has to run away. And when he will run away, he will create a land that for Knut it will be so impossible to defeat, or so bothering him to defeat, because the more it becomes bigger, the more Knut needs more money to extend his legions of soldiers to defeat him or to try to conquer his land, etc., etc. Everything is becoming so bothersome that for Knut, the only thing to do is to step away from it, because he doesn't want to make his life feel even more bothersome. The first method that was used by Thorfinn was to give him even more bothering things to think about. So that Knut says, oh no, I can't handle this anymore. Oh no, please, no, don't give me other problems more than what I have already, because no. So as you can see, that was the best tactic. Thorfinn won on Knut, even thanks to his tactics. Look, Knut can't even believe and what he is saying, because everyone, he also said it in the episode, everyone tried to conquer his thoughts in different ways, trying to find a compromise, trying to find the best way for themselves, etc., etc. But in here, Thorfinn is just challenging him. Thorfinn is giving him this other way that Knut didn't even imagine. So, for the first time, Knut is finding a challenger that gives him the opportunity to think that it exists something that he didn't predict, that it would have happened. And this is the moment in which Knut understands that he failed. Because he has always been so sure about everything, about what other people would have responded, about how people would have reacted, etc., etc., etc. But this was not the case. And Thorfinn didn't use violence. Thorfinn didn't use threatening words. Thorfinn was simply peaceful, and the only thing that he was asking was to step away from that land. And he requested this so many times that at the end of the day, Knut was speechless, because he said, oh, will you run away? Is that it? That's the first time that I hear something like this. That's the first time that it's so easy to conquer a land. There is nothing interesting to do because you let me do this. And you want to run away instead of stop me. Why? But then immediately after, we understand that Thorfinn is explaining to Knut what does it mean to run away. Because when you hear, I will run away, you say, oh, what a coward, he's running away and he's not even defending its own land. no, there's no point of defending that land. The point is that you can conquer this land, but when you conquer that land, you didn't create it, you didn't work for it, you didn't understand the importance that that land had for the people who were living there, like Thorfinn and Einar, for example. So it's just a mere way to conquer other stuff that belongs to others. But how can you feel satisfied by doing something like this? When you run away, it means I want to run away from you. Not from the things you are doing, but I want to run away from you as a person because you don't match with me. You don't have the same ideas, and I don't want to become like you, because if I stay under you, my fear is that I can become like you because I will start following you and I will be the oppressed one. But at the same time, I don't want it to be under you because you don't represent me. You don't represent my ideals. You don't represent what I really believe. So the only thing that I want to do is to run away. And metaphorically speaking, it's like as if he runs away. So the light too runs away. And Knuto feels surrounded by darkness all over again. And that makes Knuto fall so much that he will reach at the bottom once again. Even Knuto, for this response, and the fact that Thorfinn is turning his back and says, okay, bye-bye, you don't want to listen to me? Fine, I will go ahead and I will run away from you. It's okay. But Knuto can't stand that a slave, that someone that is inferior than him, turns his back and he says, bye-bye, I'm going. I don't want to follow your orders. I mean, I don't want to be here to say that I will be ready to stay under you. I prefer to go and create something good somewhere else instead. And you see that Knuto, before laughing, was I mean, you saw him from the backside, as if he couldn't resist from doing something that made Thorfinn stay, okay? Because if it was another king, he would have said, okay, go, who cares? I will find you sooner or later. No, in that moment, his soul was trembling because for the first time, he didn't know what to reply. He didn't know what to say. And at the same time, Thorfinn didn't stop. He was going until Knuto laughs. And in fact, Thorfinn stopped and looked at him. But that laugh was good because after so many years, Knuto is laughing again. As much as Thorfinn did after some years after what happened to Askeladd. So it was nice to see Knuto laughing again and to see that Thorfinn made him laugh again. That was something that we would have never imagined at the beginning of this season. I really liked the moment in which Knuto is saying, you run? Is that it? For real? You run? I've never expected such an answer like this to a king. Yeah, because the real king here is Thorfinn, and he doesn't have any sort of crown on top of his head. But anyway, he is a king right now. He is a king of his own thoughts, and he will be followed by so many people. I'm pretty sure of this, because a king, a real king, doesn't need to be powerful. The real king is powerful thanks to the words, thanks to the ideas, thanks to the facts that he is making. And that's how Knuto learned something new. You don't need a crown to be powerful. You don't need wealth to be powerful. You don't need any sort of accessory or anything that is proving that you're a king. A king is a king because of what he thinks, because of how he can influence other people, because of how true he can say to himself, and because of how he can change. Because when you recognize a mistake, if you don't understand it and you keep pursuing with your ideas and you're stubborn, that's not what good kings should do. right? Thorfinn is showing us that you can also be a king. Every one of us can be a king. It's not just the literally meaning that we have of a king, that he has a crown and there is the princess, the queen, and whatever. No, the king can be every one of us. It's based on the ideas that we have, if they are noble, because if our thoughts are noble, we are automatically kings and queens. We don't need any crown that is establishing these. And Thorfinn is showing this new vision of what a king might be. And in fact, Knut is seeing Thorfinn, who is surrounded by no one. But anyway, he is great. He has this aura, these beautiful colors around him that makes him become someone great. And no matter how many scars he has, no matter how many punches he received and whatever, no matter how his hair is not perfect, no matter anything of all these things, he is great. He is handsome because on his side he has thoughts. He has the will to create instead of having the will to destroy. And I really like even the approach Thorfinn had towards Knut, how humble he is towards him by saying, look, Knut, I don't know if your idea is good or wrong. I'm not in the position, the presumptuous position to say if what you're doing is right or wrong, but it's just different from what I wanted to do. And that's something sure. That's something sure because he knows what he wants to create. And it's a place where you don't have to destroy in order to create. You just create. A place where there is no difference between the superior and inferior. There's equality. A place where you have no slavery. A place where you don't have wars to be able to speak up and tell the truth of what you think. That's the most amazing thing. And that's why during the reaction I was saying why history didn't go like that. I mean, why we didn't have Thorfinn 1,000 years ago trying to promote something like this, but we had the conquistadores, we had something else, something that was destroying other people's lives, instead of finding a man who was willing to communicate. Because I think that when Thorfinn will reach Vinland, he will find the natives over there and he will try to have the most amazing approach with them. So why did history didn't go like this? Look, I feel so ashamed of history, because if we would have found a person like Thorfinn, even the natives probably would have survived in a different way and would have not been destroyed, would have not been defeated completely, almost completely. But let's say that I really regret how history went throughout all these 1,000 years. But anyway, I like, on the contrary, that Knut is trying. Knut has this vision of things now that is cleared, and the way in which Thorfinn approached could show Knut, first of all, that he was wrong. And that's the proof that we were always waiting throughout this season. I mean, fortunately, life was proving Knut how Knut was wrong. And I liked a small detail that was essential to me. We could see once again this wave approaching the shore. And based on what Knut said in the previous episode, when he was saying that God is ruling on all of them thanks to these waves, because the waves can't be stopped by him, who is just a human being. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. If we think about it religiously speaking, we see that God is putting Thorfinn in front of Knut to see, look Knut, if you really want, you can change look at the Thorfinn, look at the example that I am showing you, that you are facing right now, that it's the perfect example that tells you that violence can turn into creation, that that thing can change, but it depends if you want or if you don't want. It depends if you can create this beautiful and colorful aura based on how Thorfinn was held by others, because that aura was created because Thorfinn met people, because Thorfinn changed the environment, because Thorfinn could get in touch with the people who had a different vision of life and could influence Thorfinn to do right things. That's exactly what Thorfinn is doing right now with Knuto. It's like a transmission of all these knowledge that he acquired, and he was just there, with no swords, with no weapons, with no violence, with no punches. He was punched instead, but anyway, that man is handsome because of the knowledge that he gained. So externally speaking, he was damaged, but innerly speaking, that aura that was reproduced, that so many beautiful colors around him, could let Knuto see a vision, could see something that, wow, I want to become like Thorfinn. I wanted to have this missed knowledge that I need in order to change. And this was awesome because there were no tricks here. There were no keywords. There were not strategical ways of thinking. It was just humanity. It was just pure and simple words that could help Knuto to wake up and to realize, what am I doing? I mean, that was just a different way for Knuto to imagine that his dream is not bad. But what he was doing so far was meaningless. It was pointless. And it was a pretty hypocrite. That's why I like that Thorfinn doesn't tell him, you're wrong, but he makes Knuto realize it by himself. That's the most important thing. Instead of staying there and arguing, no, you're right, no, I'm wrong, no, etc., etc., etc. You need to let the people realize things by themselves with their own time. And that's the most amazing way of how the world can change for better. If you impose your ideas with a wrong attitude, then people will never change their minds. They will never see the world differently. If you wait patiently and you see how the things go on and you let the people realize with their own time what's going on, then it's different. And with this episode, you understand now more than ever how powerful words are, how words can change, and how words are the real weapons that you can use in order to change something. Those are exactly the weapons that Thorfinn needed to use in order to become a true warrior. A man who can fight for his will, fight for his ideas, fight for his thoughts with words. That it's the most amazing message here in this episode. I think that if only people in our real world could use those weapons instead of others, wow, the world would be so different right now. But there's still the hope that all these things can happen someday. I really hope that, yeah. I also want to say something extra right now, because when I saw Thorfinn awakening Knuto like that, and to see how Thorfinn could change things around himself, yeah, somehow I think that even Askeladd would have been so proud of him. Not only because Thorfinn can really remind him King Arthur. I mean, Sometimes I'm thinking like this. I mean, Askeladd's mother was waiting that this man, after 500 years, would have come back and save everyone, or let's say save them, but to save all these people in such an epic way, right? Thorfinn can be the new King Arthur, in my opinion, because he doesn't need anything. Okay, King Arthur was using weapons, right? But in this case, this new King Arthur doesn't even need weapons, you know? He only uses words, and he is even more powerful, because once you are convinced about your thoughts, no one can beat you, no one can let you think something else, no one can defeat the strength that you have built little by little. And in fact, you saw how fragile Knut was at the end of the day, because Thorfinn was firm with his convictions and he knew already what to do. And if he was not listened, who cares? I'm going to create my stuff somewhere else if you don't really want to listen to me and try to cooperate and whatever. But you could see that this was like a chess game, okay, in which Thorfinn won, absolutely won, and Knut could reveal in front of Thorfinn his fragility. And in fact, in the episode, even King Sweyn was asking Knut, why are you showing your real thoughts to this man? Of course he's showing his real thoughts, and I appreciated that Knut decided to be honest with him, with Thorfinn. First of all, because Thorfinn and Knut know each other for some years. Second of all, because Thorfinn had a different approach. Third of all, because Thorfinn was not afraid to talk to him, and he didn't feel any sort of difference. He was not bowing at him, he was not waiting his commands and whatever he wanted to ask him to do. No, he was just talking, and it was just a peaceful talk between the two men. One awakened and one not awakened, one blurred with his blurred mind still. But it was nice to see how Knut was honest with Thorfinn. It was essential, this part, because you see that Knut is estimating Thorfinn. He is so happy to see that a challenger like him could challenge him in a different way. Something that was not done so far, because everyone was scared of Knut. Everyone was there trying to create a sort of agreement about what to do, etc. No one was challenging Knut with words, and that was the right time to be honest with the one who was patiently and peacefully talking to him and revealing what he really wanted to do. Because that was exactly what Thorfinn wanted to do, without feeling ashamed, without feeling afraid, without any sort of other miserable feelings. I totally respect this dialogue. It's one of the best dialogues that I have seen so far in anime, and it deserves, absolutely. It definitely deserves. I really liked that he laughed, because after he laughs and he says that that was just a stupid proposal to make, or to say even that he will run away, that was like as if Knut was back. I mean, it was like as if Knut was going back to his childhood, when he was free to laugh at some stupid things, or it was like going back in time. And it was really nice to see the change on his face, because you don't need a crown. You don't need that crown. You can get rid of it if you think more about that power that the crown is giving you. And that crown is just a tool that you can command, and not vice versa. But actually it's better Knut without a crown, because he doesn't need one. He is definitely better without. And Thorfinn is the proof, because as soon as Thorfinn got rid of the swords, he became another person. And as soon as Knut gets rid of the crown, he becomes another person. So this materialism, if we can get rid of it, we are becoming someone else. If we need lots of money, the more we have, the more we want. If we have swords, the more we have, the more we want, and the more powerful we feel. It's all wrong. Let's get rid of those tools that we don't need, because we are already perfect just by the way we are. We don't need something extra to handle to prove our strength. We are strong enough. So let's prove this strength with words, with the ability that we have that other living things don't have. We are so grateful to have this ability of speaking, of be able to make logical thoughts, to think. Let's use this power, because other living things don't have this power. So let's be able to use this ability to create instead of destroy. Let's use this ability to connect instead of creating sites. Let's use this amazing tool that we have that doesn't need that it's referring to something materialistic. This is awesome. And I wanted to open a little bracket, because I remember in this episode when that soldier was saying, look, Thorfinn, please retreat. I don't want to kill you because you're already a good man. So even the Vikings over there were already changing their minds. And they were understanding how strong you can be and how authoritative you can be just by thinking, just by spreading what you think. And that was simple. So even by seeing that that soldier told this to Thorfinn, Knut was like, wow, I didn't know this power. I mean, I didn't know that someone could be so strong, even stronger than I am, just by saying a few words, just by following his own thoughts. That was so amazing, guys. I will repeat these over and over again, even after 1 year that I will watch this story, because I keep rewatching the things that I like. But wow, that was so impressive. And the way in which you can see how trust he has in himself, how Thorfinn can trust himself so much that he was even saying, Einar, let's go. He was so self-confident in the moment in which he's confronting Knut, and it's not something presumptuous. He was not presumptuous at all. He was just true to himself. He was just sure about what he was thinking, and that was enough. That was really enough for him. But then what it's told to you later makes a huge difference, makes you understand that when you see Thorgil saying, why they retreated, why the king went away, that was the moment in which you understand that Knut woke up. It's so brilliant, even the fact that Thorgil, when he's asking himself those questions, dark clouds are on top of his head, as if you understand that Knut got it. Thorgil is still not understanding what's the point. He will take his time to realize this, and we are hoping that even Thorgil will be able to realize one day these kind of things. As much as I really liked the moment in which Thorfinn, when Knut is asking him, where will you go? Tell me. Where are you going to go now? And Thorfinn said, I don't want to tell you. Of course he will not tell you, because if you tell him, he's going to come and he will want the Vinland too. So it's better if you don't know where I'm going. But just to let you know one thing, the more you will keep doing something like this, the more I will run away from you. So it will be even difficult for you to catch me, and I think this is effortless. I mean, it's better if you create something good instead of waiting that you can catch me, because you don't know how far I can run away from you. Because at that time they didn't know the entire world as we know right now. So even to hear something like this, yeah, it was pretty challenging. Because Canuto had so many other countries to conquer, so if he really wanted to follow Thorfinn, he had to conquer all the countries of the world until he finds Thorfinn. Oh, it takes too much time, and nothing is guaranteeing Canuto that he will be able to find Thorfinn. So in the moment you wanted to kill lots of other people because you have to find me, that's pointless, that's ridiculous. And that's the real challenge. That's the real challenge of everything here. You said you wanted to create a peaceful Earth, right? But if you wanted to catch me, you needed to conquer other countries, and if you conquer other countries, it means that you will involve violence. And in that case, you will never be able to save the Vikings from the reputation that they have too. And at the same time, the more you try to catch me, the more you will not find me. Isn't it too utopistic what you want to create at this point, or too hypocrite, or too stupid? Yes, every time you think that you wanted to conquer something with the method you used, remember that I will run away from there. So you have to keep finding me, and if you wanted to keep finding me, it will be so troublesome for you, because you have to kill other people, and this goes against your initial thought of challenging God to create a paradise on earth and everyone under you. You will never be able to make it, dear Canuto, because I, Thorfinn, will never agree with what you do. It will be totally against from the policy that I made for myself, from my ideas. So you will fail anyway, because there will always be something missing for you to create these paradise on earth. Everyone was under you, but if I am not under you, and the people who will follow me will never be under you, this is already a failure. And I'm showing it to you right now. Before you commit other sins, before you commit other crimes, I'm telling you in advance that I will never be able to agree with what you do. I will never be able to stay under you. I will never be able to match my ideas with you. So it's better if you forget about this plan. It's better if you forget about this utopistic vision about ruling on everyone. It's better if you get rid of the fact that you will be the only king conquering lands and being worshipped by all the world, because this is not happening. And I'm here standing in front of you to tell you this. It will never work, so it's better if you stop right now. As soon as you hear these kind of things, you get emotional, because that's the key. That's why all the wars in the world should stop right now. If we all use these words from Thorfinn, we can defeat all wars. Just by saying, you will never conquer us. You will never conquer our thoughts. We are free to think, we are free to create, we are free to belong to ourselves only. And you are no one to let us stay under you. You are no one to impose your ideas and believe that I will agree with these. Let's stand up and be free to say whatever we think. Because that's the reason why we can consider ourselves free to live in this world. And if we don't belong to someone, we should say it. Let's run away from you, because I don't want to belong to people like you. We have different ideas. And if you really think that you will be able to conquer the world, I tell you now, you will not be able to trick me, you will not be able to conquer me, etc., etc., etc. That's the key. That's the key. Of course, it is. And the way in which everything was handled later in the episode was a masterpiece. I mean, this episode is everything. But you see that both Thorfinn and Canuto found two different paths that they have something in common at the end of the day. If you really wanted to create a paradise, Knut, let's just communicate with different ideas. Let's communicate and let's see what we have in common. Let's see what matches. Let's work on these matching things instead of conquering and spread terror under you, because that's just a utopia. That's not the peaceful countries that you wanted to build. Let's work on the similarities, and then you will see that you find lots of allies. And in fact, Knut is realizing this. Oh, I found new fellows, I found new allies in the project that I wanted to make. And I can do this without imposing my authority, without imposing this crown on other people. And in fact, what happened later, what Knut did throughout the other times after, is amazing. He retreated little by little. He gave the possibility to people to trust him and not to feel oppressed by him. He found the possibility to reduce his amount of ships, because he doesn't need a legion of ships to convince people to not fight. He needs only 6 ships. That's the exact amount that he needs in order to bring with himself all the people who trusts him and all the people he can also trust. I liked even that commander next to Knut, who is saying, look, I'm not against you, Knut. I appreciated that you retreated. Yes, even if Floki, for example, on the contrary, he was angry because why he didn't understand why they retreated. He was not satisfied. But the commander told Knut, look, I'm staying by your side. I'm happy that you retreated. It's already a great way to conquer something. He conquered a man in the most amazing way by doing the right thing. So Knut had already the proof in front of his eyes that he can conquer people, not because he's destroying villages, but he can conquer people with moral values, with a heart, with great purposes, with the will to cooperate. And he can build this trust even by saying to these people that they can count on him. And I liked the moment in which he didn't put his crown on top of his head anymore. There's no need of these in order to be a king. And he finally got it. I'm so happy that Knut got it, because from now on, even if these two paths are different and they will lead these two main characters on two different directions, they will do something positive. They will try their best to do what they really want. And this is not sure that it will happen, but at least they will try. And this is already a good thing to do. That's how we can say that they put a real effort on these to create instead of destroying. And all that I was saying to you right now can be symbolized by one specific scene. When we see all these birds flying in the sky, all together as if they are a community, that they join forces to fly somewhere together, and this is meaning to be free. Be free by being all together. That's the most amazing message, and that's why I want to praise Yukimura or even Mappa, because thanks to these small details, everything is reinforced, everything is extended. The message can bring you to some logical thoughts that you would have never expected to think about. And that's something else. I mean, this episode goes beyond everything I told you already. But yeah, what happens after, it's so meaningful too, because you see Thorfinn and Einar, and wow, while Einar is still there thinking about his mother, his sister, Arnheid, and he is crying because of his losses, this time everything turns upside down in this case too, because Thorfinn is the one who puts his hand on his shoulder, while at the beginning of this season, Einar put a hand on his shoulder. So the trust that was built between these two characters means everything. And later, when Thorfinn is talking to Einar and he's finally realizing now more than ever what he really wants to do, because now more than ever he feels alive, he feels strong, and facts are proving him that he was never been a complete failure. This time it worked. He did something good to change history somehow. He did something good to prevent other villages to be destroyed and to bring this policy go over and over again. He made it. So if he made it this time, why it can't happen even later in Vinland? Why it can't happen another moment in which he can help people realize he is the awakening man? So if he did it this time, and with multiple other characters, he did the same thing. Look at the snake, for example. Look at the Sverkel, another example. Look at Ketil. Look Olmar. Look, all these people who were inspired by everything that happened. And yeah, I mean, Thorfinn could realize the power that he has, and I'm pretty sure that his self-confidence will not be used in vain. Totally the contrary, it will be used for something efficient, for something that will be able to be created based on good values, based on experience, based on knowledge, that it's something that it's required the most. When you see that this confidence that is built up little by little, the more Thorfinn talks to Einar, the more he finds confidence, and he is looking at the sunset and he's realizing what he really wants to do. Was that the sunset? No, I think that was the dawn. But anyway, it's even better, because you know that when the sun rises, it means that a new era, a new beginning is starting, and it's definitely making more sense than the sunset. Yeah, even to see, I forgot to tell you this, the amount of time that Knuto stayed over there talking to Thorfinn. He didn't even realize that hours were going through. They were passing by. We started when it was afternoon, and then you saw the sunset, and then you saw the stars in the sky. You could see how long this discussion went on, and everything was done peacefully, because the Vikings were not using their weapons. They were all listening to the discussion they were making, and both Knuto and Thorfinn, they were just talking. But that talk was creating a revolution, was creating something new, a new beginning, a new perspective. Yeah, going back to what I was saying about Einar and Thorfinn. Yes, Thorfinn, the more he talks to him, the more he understands. The more he understands that even Arnheid, okay, yes, he was not able to take Arnheid to Vinland, but the speech that he made after she died, or in the last moments in which she died, was useful for him to believe in Vinland, to believe that what Thors wanted to create was something good, that was something propositive, something that had to be created. So the knowledge that Thors achieved, now Thorfinn has the same knowledge achieved. And that's the legacy that moves on, because now Thors is no more alive, but definitely Thors lives in Thorfinn. And that's the most amazing thing, because Thors will never fade away, will never disappear, until these moral values that he had, that he discovered after he decided to step away from violence, will live in Thorfinn years and years and years after. So that's the most amazing thing. Yeah, absolutely. But Einar and Thorfinn reached the peak of the relationship in the moment in which they call themselves brothers. Because they are not brothers by blood. They are brothers because of what they have experienced. And they come from two different sides that in the past were considered enemies. And now they are brothers. Now they created this brotherhood that can also let Knut understand, and in fact he did it later with the English people, because he retreated, so English people were trusting Knut more, that you can build things where you think that there were enemies, those enemies, if you love those enemies, you can create brotherhoods. And in fact, that's exactly what Thor's wanted for Thorfinn. You don't have enemies. You have never had enemies. And that's the point where we can start from. That's the initial point where we can create something great, something unbeatable, something undefeatable. And yeah, the moment in which we understand that Einar joins Thorfinn to go to Vinland, oh yes, I was afraid that this moment would have never come, but the fact that Einar joins, yes, I'm so happy. Especially because at the end Thorfinn tells him, let's go to Vinland for Arnheid. That means you loved Arnheid, and you know that Arnheid would have agreed with this, would have come together with us, so let's go there for her too, because I promised her that we would have met again in Vinland, so we can't break that promise. And Einar is accepting, of course, but he is not accepting just because of Arnheid. He's accepting because he's considering Thorfinn a part of his life that can be separated, okay, that shouldn't be separated from him. And I love this relationship. I was so happy to see them together going away from there, and that was the thing that we needed to watch. Yes, Thorfinn finally is not alone anymore. He has a fellow, and he has more than a fellow now, because there is even Leif. There is even this adopted son by Leif. There will be so many other people coming later. So yes, he even has fellows that he will live at the farm, because Snake, Olmar, Sverkel decided to stay there and to not join them. But it's better at the end of the day. Yes, I hoped that Snake would have joined them, but he didn't, and it's okay. It's fine with that, because Snake has another mission now. He has to take care of that land. Now more than ever, he needs to help Sverkel when he can't, to rebuild that farm, to create it one more time. From ashes, you create once again. So everything is a phoenix here. Wow, it's amazing. And I liked the way in which Thorfinn and Einar go away and they look at them again, and we even see this flashback in which you can see what happened between all these people before Thorfinn and Einar went away. We see that Olmar is thanking Thorfinn because Thorfinn is inspiring him. But see, even in this case, Thorfinn is humble. We need to be humble, even in this world. And Thorfinn is teaching us how to do this. He doesn't say, oh, okay, thank you because of these kind words you told me, Olmar, you were inspired by me. No, he doesn't want to take the glory of all these compliments. On the contrary, he's seeing his mistakes that he made still, and they are still important to him to realize the path that he took. And he's even saying, to me, it took 15 years to realize what I know now. While to you, Olmar, it didn't take so much time, because I heard that you wanted to surrender. So the fact that Thorfinn is not praising himself, he is not vanting himself of what he is, but he's praising Olmar. He is praising the other person who is complimenting him by seeing his fragility, I mean Thorfinn's fragility and Thorfinn's limits, versus Olmar's decision that was made straight away. Immediately after he killed one person, he realized that that thing was wrong. So the way in which Thorfinn makes Olmar great, and he makes him understand you shouldn't underestimate yourself, because you decided something great. You decided something that probably, if I was in your position, I would have never decided something like this. Because I was young too, but I didn't make the choices you made. So, don't compliment me, compliment yourself. That's awesome! See, another great bond was created. And Thorfinn and Einar didn't even want the money. See, because Leif was promised of money, because he helped Olmar, Ketil and Thorgil to reach the farm back, see? But they didn't want money, because they are not important. What they achieved is more important. And yeah, wow, Thorfinn is the man we need in this world. Yes, Thorfinn, Olmar, we need Snake, we need these people, okay? And talking about Snake, I liked the moment in which he revealed out loud his name. Because you remember in the previous episodes, he said, that's a Snake, it's just my nickname. And that makes you understand that Snake throughout all this time didn't trust anyone. But after what he saw, he was ready enough to trust these people and say out loud, look, my name is Rold or something like that, and I'm the son of Grim. So if one day in the future in Vinland Saga we hear about Grim, we hear about this Rold that is a snake, we know that Thorfinn has other allies, we know that Thorfinn has other friends. More than allies, let's say, friends, brothers, sisters, a community. And this community was created even here in this farm, because it's thanks to this farm that Thorfinn could have become who he became. And we have to praise this land, because even if he was a slave in this farm, then he upgraded. I mean, he is no more a slave, he is free. They are free now. But it's a thanks to that land. It's a thanks to the people that he met over there that he could be free later. Everything is necessary in our life. We shouldn't regret any choice we made, any bad experience that we made, because later it will be useful for us to reach a certain goal, to reach a certain knowledge, to reach a certain balance inside our heart. So everything was so useful. Yeah, I like the way in which even Thorfinn and Einar could see that by revealing his name, Snake was acknowledging them as his friends. This episode means everything. Everything. Absolutely. Then we see even Ketil. And Ketil now is discouraged because he lost his land, and he even lost the person who really understood him, that is Arnheid. But now it's no more time to cry. It's no more time to think about these negativity. It's time to recreate. It's time to stand up and create and create, to keep carving. Now, the end of the episode, it's well understandable now, because at the beginning of the season there was that voice that was repeating these words, but now more than ever we understand that there is a thing that you carve, that you should carve in your skin, in your land, in the water, everywhere, is love. And when you have that thing, you will be so powerful. And the more you carve it, the more you let this world be peaceful and be equal to everyone. You see the workers that they keep creating this farm again, and even if Ketil and his wife are completely discouraged because they lost everything, there's no time to cry, there's time to create. So let's go on and be more confident than before. Now you have the possibility to regain your farm, Ketil, and Knuto will not touch it. And you have to thank Thorfinn, because without Thorfinn and without Olmar, this thing would have never happened. So you should be proud of your son, and you should have been proud of your ex-slave because they did something that you would have never done. There's no more time for slaves and workers and kings, queens, masters and whatever. They are all the same. There's no more need of titles here and roles here. If you want to create something and other people are together with you creating this, you are all the same. Quality, love, brotherhood, amazing and essential messages that we need to carve inside our mind, to carve inside our heart, to carve inside what we are. Yeah, this was one of the best episodes in my entire life, if we talk about anime. This was everything, and now more than ever we see that these birds will fly together and they will go to the same destination, that is to spread love and to create something that is useful for everyone, without enrolling others being something that at the end of the day they are not. Because even kings, guys, they are kings on earth, but when they die they will be all the same as others. So that's just a title that we give to people, and that title is just a materialistic title, a materialistic role. But that should end, because as soon as we have roles and as soon as a society is built like this, we will never be able to change anything. And this story is telling you that no matter the sides, you can one day become the same side. That there should not be sides anymore, because if you create sides, you can create friends and enemies, and we don't need these anymore. We need to stop, or we need to abolish the word enemy, because when we will be able to abolish that word and we can create instead of destroying, then we will change the world. So I really hope that somehow Thorfinn will be reincarnated in one of us and can create this huge change. I still hope that the new generations who are more awakened than the previous ones can inspire the new generations coming after. And I really trust the new generations, because they are able to gain a knowledge that previously was impossible to gain. So now we have all the tools, guys. We have everything that we need to do the step forward. That's why I'm saying that we don't require anything much than these, anything more than what we have. And now it's the proper time to make that step. But the problem is that not all people are ready. So, as much as Thorfinn did with Knuto, we need to have the knowledge, the right knowledge, to wake people up and to be able to convince people that if they want to conquer the lands of others, we will run away and we will not fight back. That's what, look, I don't have tattoos, but I would like to tattoo this sentence of Thorfinn here on my forehead, if I could. Okay guys, thank you so much for the support. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the new subscribers. Thank you for these support that you give me because of these endless commentaries. And stay tuned and keep on watching, because next week I come back with the final episode. Episode 24 of Vinland Saga Season 2. Of course, we understand that Thorfinn and Einar will go to Vinland, but we also understand that Leif wants to take Thorfinn to Iceland. So it's time, Thorfinn. It's time to rejoin your mother. It's time to rejoin your sister. It's time to stop wasting time. Yes, even when Thorfinn said to Knut, it was a waste of time that I talked to you. Yes, at the beginning of the dialogue, it seemed it was a waste. Did he say it on purpose because actually it was not a waste and he expected a reaction from him? I believe so, because nothing is a waste. Nothing precious is a waste. And I think that what Thorfinn said to Knut was something really precious. Keep subscribing to the channel, click on the notification bell. Bye guys, see you next time with the end of Season 2 of Vinland Saga. Waiting for Season 3, that of course will come soon, I hope. Stay tuned, thank you and bye. See you in the next video.